Alright, so today I'm just gonna go over a bunch of Bodanator clips that I was recording during the match because I think it can help everyone look out for cheaters in their games or potentially in PFMM or some other comp setting. So this is the evidence that I have. So this was one of the first clips that I got, and I thought it was really weird because any player with any experience in the game would try and shoot through that wall, especially with a Scar H, because you know that thing can wall bang. But he ends up not shooting at all, which says to me, is he trying not to seem sus? Or does he just not know much about the game? And either way, with his performance, it's really suspicious. So that's why I took note of it, even though in isolation, it really isn't that much. So for this next clip, there isn't really anything like weird at first sight. However, what I noticed when watching this in the game was that you see that the bullet cluster on the wall and how it looks like there are 3 or 4 bullets all clustered together and then there's one shot off. That can be so when people are aimbotting sometimes they'll aim at something but then they're not good with their mouse movement, so they'll move off of where the aimbot was putting them and they'll get random shots off guard. That's why you see sometimes people kill, but they hold down the trigger longer than they need and random shots go every which way. So I thought it was something to add because that's a really tight cluster, especially for a Scar H. This one's just another instance of him deciding not to shoot through the wall. There's nothing else to say. I just thought it was really weird and could have said something like I said in the first clip. So this isn't the first time you see this guy do this, but sometimes when he's shooting people and they jump, you'll actually see him do a little micro movement of his mouse that makes sure his mouse keeps aiming on the guy's torso while he jumps. So that's just it's a really small and subtle giveaway, but it can really say a lot about um, if someone's cheating or not. Not much to say about this one in particular. It's just a really quick snap, and it seemed unordinary given his other clips where he aims pretty slowly, so I thought I should add it. So this clip is kind of funny because you can see he sees 3 people on screen and his aimbot tries to transfer between all 3 of them at the same time. And then once he reloads and goes back for the engagement, he actually does diagonal tracking onto the guy jumping into purple. So this is very telling because not many players are going to successfully pull off a diagonal track as perfectly as that. So just another indication of aimbot. This is another case of something extremely subtle that a lot of players won't notice. But you can see that on the tracers on the kiosk in the wall behind, he gets the headshot onto the guy, but then the shots after he kills him all hit the bottom of the kiosk, which once again can show that he was using his aimbot to get the kill, but then his real aim kicked in after he killed him, and they flicked below to the kiosk. This one is funny because you see the guy shoot one guy in the back of green, and then he does this weird little mouse movement, and then I didn't really notice it at first, but then once I looked back on the footage, he was actually aiming at a guy who was behind the kiosk after he killed or someone killed the guy back of green. So he didn't even see him though when he transferred. So this is a pretty big tell. So this is another one where at first glance you're not really gonna think it's anything, but you think about like what a player is gonna do in a comp match, and this guy runs around aimlessly without a care in the world, much unlike the way he plays when someone's actually around. So him looking around like all over him shows to me that he may be using some kind of ESP to look through the walls and try and figure out where the phantoms are. This one's pretty obvious. He just starts tracking the guy through the wall at ticket. This is another one of those examples of the micro movements because you can see again that the guy he's shooting at jumps and then he follows him while he jumps. Just a really unordinary mouse movement. Now this one's a doozy. He spots the guy peeking out and then tracks him behind the wall, but he keeps aiming and actually tracks him while the guy jumps out from behind cover and perfectly kills him, which is no player is ever gonna do that if they're legit. I'm gonna be honest. This is also just a pretty small thing in general, but you can see he's shooting the guy, but then he actually goes and tracks the guy who's running away down the ramp and then switches back to the guy who's out of cover. So just another small thing, but it pretty much shuts the case that, yeah, this guy was cheating. So after the game, I got his Roblox logs and it did confirm he was cheating. This guy was 100% cheating. There is no question about it. So now you guys know what to look for when looking for somebody with some sort of aimbot or possibly ESP. So, yeah, I hope you guys use this information in the future to determine if somebody maybe in your game is cheating. So, yeah, hope it helps you out and I hope it gets more cheaters banned. See you guys.